Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I'm gonna give you guys tips to overcome being burnt out. Now, being burnt out is just inevitable. Pretty much everyone has this feeling at one point or another, whether they realize it or not. And so the important thing is to recognize when you're feeling burnt out and then work to overcome this feeling. Now, everybody's a little bit different, so I'm gonna go through tips that kind of help me overcome being burnt out and kind of get back in that study mindset. So hopefully these tips can help you guys out too. So let's get started. The first tip that I'd give you guys is when you're feeling that tiredness and you're just feeling like you're not focused, that's pretty much the sign of, yeah, you're burnt out. Like you just feel run down all the time, but we have this constant desire that we need to be studying, we need to be doing something, or else we feel guilty. I know I have that feeling a lot, that if I take a break even for 10 minutes to eat something, I feel like I should be studying in that moment. And that's kind of how we develop this sense of being burnt out, because we just put so much pressure on ourselves and we just go constantly that eventually our body's trying to say to us like, hey, we need a break. So my number one tip is to just leave it alone, to leave your study area, whether that's in an office, in your dining room, wherever your study area is right now, leave it and just let it be. Turn off the lights, close your computer.
Alexa, turn off the living room
just
light.
go away from it for a while. Now, timing is different for everyone. Like some people need half a day, some people need a full day. I typically try to take a full day to where I'm nowhere near my little study area, nowhere near the desk, nothing. Like don't want to look at first aid, don't want to look at anything on my computer or even note cards that would trigger me going into like, oh, I need to be studying. So I try to take a full day, and that's kind of what helps me avoid burnout in the first place. And if I have reached the point of being burnt out, taking a full day to just rest and recover is the best thing for me. Okay, moving on to tip number 2, kind of runs along with tip number 1, is to rest and recover, which for me could be taking a nap. Like I miss kindergarten when we could just nap. Like that was the best time ever. Why did we avoid taking naps? I don't know, but taking a nap just kind of recharges your brain. They typically say like 20 minutes is the best nap to where you're not tired when you wake up, but I don't find that to be true. Like sometimes I set an alarm for 20 minutes and I wake up and I just snooze that thing or turn it off. So like just take a nap if you need to, or watch your favorite TV show. Like it could be whatever you want. Like my favorite right now is Hell's Kitchen, just because I love Gordon Ramsay calling people donuts. So, you know, whatever you want. If you want to be called a donut or listen to someone else being called a donut, you know, you do you. But just kind of take that break to just recharge. Like that's the best thing that you can do for yourself physically and mentally, because it does take a toll on us when we study for so many hours in a day and so many days of the week that, you know, mentally we become burnt out, and then that leads to us just physically feeling exhausted. So take that nap, just recharge physically and mentally. Watch that TV show, you know, whatever you like to do, just do it. Okay, moving on to tip number 3. So tip number 3 is to do what you love. Whatever hobby it is that you have. I know it's extremely hard to have a hobby while in medical school because your hobby is studying, let's be honest. But if you have a hobby, whether it's reading, maybe you like to knit, whatever you like to do. Maybe, you know, people north or where it's cold and then you have snow, maybe you like to go sledding or something. Just do something fun that you like to do. It'll kind of like reset your brain to where it's like, ooh, life, it's fun. And then when you go back to studying after like doing something that you really like, and you kind of like give your brain like that, ooh, it's fun kind of thing. Like I like to read. So I'll read something that's non-medical. So right now I'm reading the Green Lights book by Matthew McConaughey. And it just kind of like takes my brain off of studying. And then when I go back to studying, I'm more focused because I gave my brain that rest that it needed, and now I can study again. So just try to incorporate doing your hobbies, like even if it's at night. So say you study from 7 to 7, so you have that full time of studying. After 7, like turn your brain off, do something that you like. Again, that could go back to tip number 2, where it's a TV show, like watch an episode of your favorite show, do something that you like, any kind of hobby that you like, because then it's going to help take your mind off of studying, give you that break, and kind of help you prevent being burnt out. Because if you're studying all the time, that's all you're doing, it's gonna tear at your mind. Even during the week, you can kind of take that separation from, okay, I'm done studying at this time, now I'm gonna go do something fun that I like, because then it's giving your mind that break at night where you're not worrying about, oh, I need to study this, I need to study that kind of thing, and then you're not gonna get the rest that you need at night. So it's important to make sure that you do things that you like throughout the day, throughout the week. Just do something you like once a day, and that'll help you prevent being burnt out. Okay, my tip number 4, this is more correlated to help you prevent being burnt out, is I know for me, I study in that one area all the time. Like there's nowhere else that I study. With COVID happening, I came back here to St. Louis, so I didn't have my apartment on the island I could study at, and then I didn't have the library I could study at, study room, school. I didn't have many options anymore to study. So when the pandemic hit, all I did was study in that one area, and it ended up just kind of like killing me, because every time I look at that area, I would just kind of like drop my shoulders and be like, man, I don't want to go over there, kind of thing. It's a small area, but it mentally drains you. So if you can, try to change up where you're studying at. Like maybe you can go study on a balcony. Ours is very not manageable to study. Some birds kind of took a home on our balcony, so it's just gross out there. So I can't study out there, but maybe if there's like a Panera or a Starbucks that you can study at, kind of like some place that you can go to where it's not you're in the same place every single day, because then you just dread going to that place. If you can mix it up a little bit, that kind of helps you prevent being burnt out, especially if a library is open. I get the most work done at a library, not necessarily because it's quiet, but because I'm like, well, I'm here, this is all I have to do. I was like, if I can do it, I can just go home. And so, or if you're in the middle of a public place, you kind of feel obligated that maybe people are watching you, so you're like, I need to be productive. Another tip I have with that, kind of going off that, is when I'm filming being productive, or if you put on, I know there's Zoom rooms that you can do where it's like study sessions. When you have that feeling of somebody's watching you, you want to be more productive. It just kind of motivates you. It's the same thing when I played basketball. If I knew a coach was in the gym or someone was watching me, I wanted to perform better just because someone was watching me. So if you kind of have that, if you can open up Zoom study rooms, it'll help you motivate yourself to be able to study more. So that is tip number 4. Now, lastly, my tip number 5 for avoiding burnout or feeling burnt out in general is to go work out. Whether that's just taking a walk around your neighborhood or going to a gym, do something to where you are moving your body. Moving your body is going to be the best thing for you. It's going to be able to help you let out your aggressions, let out your frustrations from studying, and just clear your mind. At least for me, working out is one of the best things ever. Whether it's I'm just lifting weights, I know that I'll just blast like a Linkin Park playlist or something, and I can just go lift and then maybe even do some sprints after, and I just feel so much better. Like my body feels better that it got to move around, release those endorphins, and then I can come back and I can focus more, because I'm like, okay, if I just sit there all day long, it's horrible. Like I just feel the constant need to move by the end of the day. So if I maybe even midday go work out or something, or work out in the morning, I've already done that and I can just sit there, relax, and stay focused. So I encourage you, if you're not into working out, again, just walk around your neighborhood. Just go for a 20-minute walk. It's nothing strenuous. It's just kind of clear your mind, especially outside, unless it's really cold. Maybe not. But just walking around, just get the fresh air, clear your mind, get some vitamin D on your skin. It'll make you feel so much better. And I really encourage you all to do it. Those are my 5 tips for anyone who is feeling burnt out and wants to overcome it, or if you want to avoid being burnt out. And if you are burnt out, don't get discouraged. It's something that happens to all of us. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any tips to avoid being burnt out or anything you do when you're burnt out, feel free to leave a comment below. Don't forget to like, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell to get notified when I post new videos. And I'll see you guys in the next one.